go, Game 3, the OMHA Championship. Flyers versus Woolwich. Darling wins the draw back in his own end. Way picks it up the half boards. Woolwich gets it in deep, takes it behind the Flyers net, passed out front, deflected. Darling picks it up. He'll break out near the near wing. In over the blue line. Darling from out front, pad save, rebound comes to the near corner. Wildcats pick it up the half boards, chip it out behind Way. That'll roll into the Flyers territory. Far enough for an icing. Face-off comes back to the Wildcats' end. Darling steps in to take the draw. He wins it. Darling gets it across to the far boards. Lunny at the Wildcats' gate dumps it in deep. Wildcats pick it up behind their net, bring it up the near wing. Pass up through center ice to the blue line. Jeffrey Stedman stops it there. Woolwich kicks it back in the Flyers' territory. Jeffrey Stedman across to Way. Way steps around one, reels the puck back in, takes it up the far wing. Way to the blue line and out. Wildcats cough it up. Darling picks it up in over the blue line. Felix helps him out, gets it in to the near corner. Felix at the half boards. Wildcats pick it off him. Up through the middle, out of the blue line. Telford under pressure, gets it into open ice for Ambrosio. Ambrosio gets bumped, sends it in deep. No call. Wildcats pass it out the far side to the blue line. Kept there by Telford, just out. Well, I guess they called it still in. Ambrosio in on the forecheck with Telford. Wildcats play it to the far corner. Stretch pass up through the middle. Mass. Oh, Wildcats step around him. Shot. Tittman holds that for the whistle. Nickel steps in to take the draw for the Flyers. Nickel gets a piece of it. Wildcats with a shot off the shoulder. Dittman rebound to the near corner. Wildcats cross to the far point. Steered towards the net. Intercepted. DeCamillis gets that to the blue line and out up the center. Woolwich back into Flyers territory. Pass around. Quick shot blocked in front by Guglietti. Rebound to the near side. Shot from out front. Loose puck. Woolwich buries the rebound. Let's get it back, boys. Darling steps in for the draw after that Wildcats goal. Bouncing puck. Lunny bobbled with it at the blue line. Wildcats bring it in. Savory holds it at the half boards. Gets it to Lunny. Lunny ships it up the wing. Wildcats stop him there at center. Back to Lunny. Lunny lifts it into the far corner. Lunny applying pressure behind the net. Darling steps in to help. Lunny comes up with it. Walks out front. Steered back to the near corner. Lunny kicks it behind the net. Darling tried to get it there first, cleared to the blue line. Savory kept it in. Savory walks in, throws it towards the net, blocked in front by the Wildcats D. Wildcats up to the half boards. Out over the blue line, up through center in the Flyers territory. Savory gets in the way of that one, gets it to Darling. Darling has Andrade on the near wing, in over the blue line. Shot, missed wide, rebound, almost came out front, picked off by the Wildcats player. With Woolwich off the boards. Lunny picks that off before it gets out of the blue line. Centers off a skate, deflected behind the net. Darling pressuring, gets the puck to the near corner. Woolwich plays it out the far side. Lunny on that, to the corner. Lunny battling. Andrade steps in. Woolwich still with the puck, sends it around the near boards. to the blue line and out. Up through center, Telford stripped it. Woolwich in offside. Telford slowed them down just enough to get them offside. 6:09 to go in the first period. Telford in for the draw. He wins it clean past Jeffrey Stedman into the far corner of the Flyers' end. Wildcats get there first. To the half boards. Under pressure, Ambrosio picks up the loose puck in the near boards. Off the glass to the blue line and out. Telford battling with it. Wildcats dump it back in. Way across to Jeffrey Stedman. Up the middle to Telford. Telford sees Felix on the far boards. He'll bring it in over the blue line. Felix steps around the D to the corner shot. He scores! Flyers goal scored by number 88, James Felix. .5:35 to go in the first period. Telford in for the draw. He wins it clean to Jeffrey Stedman. To Way. Back to Jeffrey Stedman, just behind him. Jeffrey Stedman on the half boards. Gets it to Telford, to the blue line. Wildcats clear it out. Ambrosio jumps on that, lifts it off the boards into the near far corner. Wildcats turn. Dump it out, Mass. To the near wing for Way. Way runs out of room, lost it at center ice. Does a good job keeping it in, gets it to the blue line. Lets a shot go. On target, held there by the Wildcats goaltender. No whistle, they got to play it. Flyers expected a whistle, they were peeling off. Felix pressuring his man behind the Wildcats net. He'll pass it up to the blue line and out. Up to center, Telford does a great job, gets it to Felix. Felix brings it over the blue line. Battles for it, gets a piece to the corner shot. Missed wide, puck comes to the near half boards. Wildcats pick it up, Ambrosio. Telford battling at the blue line, Telford gets bumped. Wildcats back in their own end. To the far boards, up through center. They'll lift it into the Flyers territory and peel off for a change. Sloan to Ambrosio. Ambrosio cuts through the middle. Brings it back to the near side. Stretch pass, listed to Guglietti. Bobbled by the Woolwich defense. Guglietti's getting hooked. No call. Guglietti with the puck to Nickel. Wildcats steal it. They'll bring it up out of the blue line. Gain the Flyers territory. Sloan steers it to the boards. Picked off by the trailer. Wildcats with the puck deep in the Flyers zone. Guglietti chips it to the near corner. Picks it up. He'll take it up out of the zone himself. Through center ice, back in over the blue line. He's got DeCamillis on the far wing. Guglietti through the middle, backhand, loose puck. And it's in! Woo! Flyers goal scored by number 6, Massimo Guglietti. 3:36 to go in the first period. Nickel steps in to take the draw. He wins it. Woolwich jumps on it. DeCamillis strips it, takes it up the far wing. In over the blue line. Shovels it towards the net. Picked off before it got there by the Wildcats. They'll pass around the near boards. Up through center. One-touch pass into the zone. Savory clears it out to center. Nickel just overskated it. Back to O'Shea. O'Shea off the boards. Held there by the Wildcats. They'll bring it back in the Flyers territory. Nickel pressuring them. Wildcats throw it out front. Dittman does a good job tracking that one across the crease. Darling steps in for the draw to the right of Dittman. He wins it to the far corner. Jeffrey Stedman to the half boards for Lunny, off the boards to the blue line. Held there. Dumped in by Woolwich off of Darling. Darling brings it down the ice. Under pressure. Around the goalie, and it's in. Woo! Flyers goal scored by number 39, Hudson Darling. 2:52 to go in the first period. Flyers needed this game yesterday. Wildcats are changing their goaltender. Shake the team up a little bit. They came out a little flat. Darling back in for the draw. Scrum draw won by the Wildcats. Taken down the near wing. And across the blue line. Darling pins him. Puck comes to the near corner. Played around behind the net. To the far side. Back behind by Woolwich. Darling grabs that puck. Up to Lunny on the far wing. Lunny lifts it around the defense into the far corner. His signature move. Picks it up behind the Woolwich net. Tries to play it out front. Woolwich pressuring. Picks it up at the near half boards. Down through center. Wake pressuring. In over the blue line. He winds up. Lets a shot go off his skate. Woolwich picks it off. Andrade stops him there before he could clear the zone. Andrade throws it out front. Poked up by Lunny. Back to Andrade. Wildcats. Wave pressuring again. Wildcats down the near wing. Lone man in over the blue line. He'll shoot. Dittman with a blocker save. Rebound cleared out of the way to Telford at the blue line. Telford up the far wing. In across the Woolwich blue line. Centering pass picked off by the Wildcats. Wildcats behind their net to the near corner. We'll take it up through the center. Intercepted. Telford throws it on net. Blocked to the near corner. Ambrosio battles for it. Wildcats play it behind their net to the far corner. Telford's there. Wildcats to the half boards. Felix just overskated it. Got it to Ambrosio. He runs out of room, dumps it into the corner. Puck comes behind the net to the near side. Wildcats up to the blue line. Held there by Ambrosio. He turns and fires. Off a skate, deflected to the far corner. Telford's there. Telford to the point for Sloan. Sloan lets a shot go. Deflected. Loose puck. Felix couldn't quite bury that one off the side of the net. Felix and Ambrosio, I believe. No, Telford battling. Ambrosio gets in the corner. Back to the Wildcats. They'll play it off the linesman. Loose puck. Off the pad of the Wildcats goaltender. Comes to the half boards. Mass kept it in. Wildcats back up to the half boards. Ambrosio didn't get the shot off in time. Wildcats clear that up through center. Down the ice. Icing's waved off. Mass picks it up. Gets it to Sloan. Sloan sends it to Ambrosio. On a weird angle. Takes it to the corner off the boards. To the blue line held there by the Wildcats. They'll chip it back in the near corner. That puck rolls behind the net to the far side. To the point. Shot. Pad save. Dittman holds onto that for the rebound. Eight seconds to go in the first period. Nickel in for the draw. Centered. Picked off by O'Shea. He keeps it from getting the shot. Gets it to DeCamillis. He'll clear it out of the blue line. Through center and just runs out of time. That'll do it for the first period. To start the second period. Nickel steps in to take the draw for the Flyers. Nickel wins it. DeCamillis gets tied up. Wildcats chip that in wide of the net. O'Shea picks it up behind the net, sends it out the far corner to Guglietti on the half boards. He chips it around his man. Guglietti in over the blue line. Gets tripped up. No call. Cleared to the blue line and out. Savory dumps it back in. Flyers have to clear. DeCamillis, again, almost off the boards. Picked there by the Wildcats defense. Centering pass to the Flyers blue line and in the zone. Shot blocked by O'Shea. Rebound to the far corner. O'Shea, Guglietti steps in to help. Wildcats come up with it. They'll walk out. Shot blocked by Savory. Guglietti touches it. And the Flyers are going to the penalty box for hooking. Nobody knows who it is. Oh, O'Shea, Flyers penalty, number 4. Christian O'Shea, 2 minutes for hooking. 14-14 to go in the second period. Darling steps in on the draw to take the power play or penalty kill. Wildcats win it, back to the blue line. Begin their cycling at the blue line. Pressure by Darling. He gets a piece of it. Interference, maybe. Wildcats pick it up back on their own end. Up the center. Darling read that like a book. Chips it into the far boards. Just lost it there. Wildcats clear it up through center into the blue line. Jeffrey Stedman off the near boards. Clears the zone. Wildcats try to play it back in. Nope. Change their mind back to their own blue line. To the far side. Back in Flyers territory. A lot of reaching here. Gitman saw that puck coming towards him. He just covered it. Holds it, lets the team regroup. Flyers will change the defense. Darling and Andrade stay out there as the forwards. Darling on the draw. From draw, Darling wins it. Sends it through Mass's feet. Mass read it off the glass to the half boards for Darling. Darling under pressure, gets it to center ice. Andrade picks it up. Lost it just over the blue line. Wildcats clear it to center ice. Flyers dump it in the zone. Lunny, fresh legs, pressures. Almost picked it up. Puck comes to and Darling at center ice. Darling turns, dumps it in the zone off of Lunny. Lunny in the far corner. Chips it in deep and pins it there. But Wildcats strip it out, send it around the near boards. To the blue line and through center. Back in the Flyers territory, he hits the brakes. Tipped just offside. Wildcats have to clear it to center ice. Jumped in, Felix almost intercepted that. Mass steps up, breaks the rush up. 20 seconds to go in the Flyers penalty. They'll clear it around to the near blue line. Held there, Lundy almost got a piece. Sloan pressuring his man. Felix, all 3 Flyers forward players are in the same side. It worked for them. They'll clear it down the near boards. Felix in on the forecheck. Flyers penalty's over. Felix comes up with it. Walks through the middle. Doesn't get the shot off. Wildcats bobbled it. Cleared to the blue line. Savory almost kept it in. Wildcats out the far wing. Lifted into the Flyers territory. Felix around to the near boards. Back to Felix. He'll chip it off the boards to Telford. Telford up the near wing. In across the blue line. Centers it. Picked off by the Wildcats defense. Ambrosio with the shot. Missed just wide. Rebound comes to Savory. He winds up. Lets one go off the blocker. Wildcats out the far wing. Back in Flyers territory. Shot. And it's in. Let's go, boys. Get it back. 11:29 to go in the second period. Nickel steps in to take the draw. Wildcats win it, back to their blue line. They'll take it up the far wing. Thrown through center, through Jeffrey Stedman's legs to the near corner. He plays it off the boards for DeCamillis. DeCamillis tripped, gets it up to Nickel at center ice. He gets tripped, no call. In over the blue line for Guglietti, shot. Wide in the net, rebound, sits behind the Wildcats goal. Cleared around the near boards to the blue line. And out, Jeffrey Stedman to DeCamillis. Under pressure, gets it to the blue line. Wildcats pick it up, right just inside their zone. Woolwich to the near boards, lifted off the glass to the near corner. Jeffrey Stedman to DeCamillis in the corner. DeCamillis gets it off the boards, dumped back in by the Wildcats. They'll play it off, brings it out front, intercepted by Guglietti. He'll take it to the near wing. And the Wildcats are going to the box. Wildcats penalty, 2 minutes for hooking. Ref was just giving a gentle conversation to Guglietti, letting him know he's got the game in control. Darling steps in to take the draw for the Flyers. Shot. Hits one of the Wildcats defensemen. Darling gets it back to the corner. Cleared around the half boards. Beyond Mass. Comes to Sloan. Sloan, this play. Mass gets back in time to the far corner. Picks it up. Brings it around the near side. Hits the brakes. Just lost the puck. Sloan to Lunny. Lunny's having some troubles getting a handle on it. Does eventually. Cross ice. And offside. It's an interesting move. We got 3 defensemen out there for the power play for the Flyers. Darling on the draw. Wins it forward. Just brought out by the Wildcats. Lunny picks it up at center ice. In over the blue line. Cuts through the middle. Throws it on net. He scores! Woo! Flyers goal, number 19, Ethan Lunny. Power play. 9:45 to go in the second period. Telford steps in to take the draw. After that Flyers goal, Woolwich wins it to their blue line, played up to center ice on the near boards. In over the Flyers territory, Savory chips it out to center ice. Felix chases them back into their own end. Ambrosio battling. Cross ice pass to the opposite wing. O'Shea sends it up through center, back to the Wildcats. They'll bring it back in the zone. Back to O'Shea, he gets to the far boards. Wildcats off a foot, comes to the middle. Felix, intended for Ambrosio, intercepted by the Wildcats. They'll send it back into the near corner. Savory, hard around the far boards. Ambrosio lifts that to the blue line, not out. Pressuring, stabbed at by Telford. Felix couldn't drag it out. Wildcats back in the zone. To the near corner. Laid back to the point. Shot. Tipped high off. Somebody, Tittman, covers the rebound for the whistle. Nichols steps in to take the draw to the left of Tittman. Scrum draw. Guglietti stabs it forward. DeCamillis gets pinned. Wildcats back on their own end. Cleared up out of the blue line. Guglietti tried to drag it in. Wildcats to the Flyers' blue line. He'll take it wide to the far corner. O'Shea breaks it up. Gets it around the far boards. Kept in by the Wildcats. Shot deflected off of DeCamillis' skate. He gets it to the near wing, picked off by the Wildcats. Woolwich in the near corner. DeCamillis battling for it. There's a stick underneath the Wildcats player. Back to the DeCamillis. O'Shea battling it. Gets it off the board straight to the Wildcats player. Wildcats to the point. Shot through traffic. Hits O'Shea in the skate. Guglietti picks up the loose puck. He'll bring it up through the middle. Guglietti with Nickel. Shot by Guglietti, missed wide. Nobody went to the net. Nickel pressuring behind the goal. Off the Woolwich skate. Andretti gets it back to the corner. Wildcats pick it up, bring it behind their net to the near side. Up the half boards. Savory swipes at it. Wildcats in onside. Back to Savory. He sends it across. Darling, fresh off the bench, gets a piece of it. He cuts back towards the middle, in over the blue line. Where's the hook? Darling with the shot. Wildcats goaltender holds after the whistle. Darling steps in to take the draw. He wins it clean to Lunny at the half boards. Lunny tried to get it to Jeffrey Stedman. Wildcats pick it up, clear it through center ice. Back in Flyers territory. Jeffrey Stedman off the boards. Lunny brings it up the near wing. Takes it wide to the corner. Hits the brakes, backhand pass intended for Darling, read by the Wildcats. To Darling at the half boards. Darling off the boards, walks towards the middle, in traffic, still has the puck, he shot, it's in! Woo! Flyers goal scored by number 39, Hudson Darling. 6:28 to go in the second period. Darling steps in to take the draw after that goal. Wildcats win it, back to their blue line. Darling pressuring, gets a piece of it to the far corner. Intercepted by the Wildcats. Wade pinching, keeps it in the zone. Andretti has it in his feet to the blue line, just cleared out. Lunny battling at the blue line. Wildcats get it to Darling. Darling to Jeffrey Stedman across the way. Back to Jeffrey Stedman in the near corner. Wildcats pressuring. He sends it up the half boards. Lunny gets it in. Darling picks it up. Darling to Lunny on the near wing, in over the blue line. Lunny through his legs. Darling picks it up, gets it to Way. Way turns, fires. I don't think the goaltender saw it, but it hit him in the head. Darling drives it to the near corner. Wildcats tried to send it up the boards. Lunny shut that door. Darling centers it for Andretti. Lunny pressuring, bouncing puck, cleared to the blue line. Way holds it, sends it into the far corner. Wildcats pick it up, play it out the near corner, sorry. Darling pressuring, off the boards, into the Flyers territory. Jeffrey Stedman sends it there for Felix. Felix off the boards to center ice. Ambrosio pressuring. Wildcats pass it across ice, in over the blue line. I'd say that might have been offside, but Way got away with a trip there. Felix behind the net, sends it to the near half boards for Ambrosio. He battles, sends it to the blue line and out. Wildcats dump it back in. Way picks it up behind his net in the far corner. Way up the half boards, cleared to the blue line, not out. Wildcats step around one, backhand, missed wide. That'll come to Telford in the near corner. Telford to Ambrosio, beautiful pass. Ambrosio in over the blue line. He cuts to the middle, lets a shot go. Off the shoulder, settles down, nobody was there to bang it in. Wildcats cleared off the boards all the way down the ice. Icing's waved off. Way bumps his man. Wildcats pick up the puck behind the net, throw it out front. Felix picks it up, gets it to the near wing for Telford. Telford across center ice. gains the blue line, just out of Ambrosio's reach. Wildcats. Way he's going to the box for that one. Coming in a little too hot. Centering pass. Dittman cuts across, makes a beautiful save. Flyers penalty, number 14. Austin Way, 2 minutes for tripping. 3:51 to go in the second period. Face-off comes to the right of Dittman. Nickel steps in to take it. Scrum draw. Nickel got a piece of it off of Sloan's foot back to the Wildcats player. They'll dump it to the corner, played it hard around the boards to the blue line. That got past him. DeCamillis, he's on his horse. He gets there first, gets it in the corner. DeCamillis out front to Nickel with a shot in traffic, picked off by the Wildcats. Good try, boys. Get back. Wildcats back in the Flyers' territory to the far corner. Mass on his way. Shot. Dittman steers that to the near side. Wildcats pick it up. Play it across ice to the far wing. Shot from the point. Bouncing puck. Missed wide. Rebound. Comes out front. Shot. Dittman with a huge save. Kicks it to the near corner. DeCamillis leaves that for Sloan. Sloan sends it hard off the near boards down the ice. Nickel in on the forecheck. Runs out of room. Wildcats play it off the near wing to the blue line, up through center. In over the blue line, Luddy comes in hard. I think he's going to the box. He's definitely going to the box. Stop the clock. All right, 5-on-3 for 30 seconds. Flyers penalty to number 19, Ethan Lenny. 2 minutes for body contact. It's still not up on the clock. Yeah. Guglietti on the draw, won by the Wildcats. We'll pass it to the middle. Guglietti applying pressure. Wildcats throw it on net. Loose puck. Dittman covers it for the whistle. Wildcats were a little aggressive on that underneath the glove. Guglietti back into the draw. Wins it forward. Wildcats with a shot. On target. Dittman squeezes that for the whistle. Darling steps in to take the draw. Wildcats win it to the far corner, played off the boards to the blue line. Held there, passed across to the middle. Darling under pressure, pressuring, shot on target. Dittman holds it for the whistle. Wildcats are going to the box for slashing. Two minutes for slashing. 4-on-3 for 22 seconds. Darling in for the draw. Wildcats win it to the far corner. Let's get it up out of their blue line, down the far wing, in the Flyers' territory. Darling shut the door to stop them. Shot missed wide. Savory picks it up at the half boards. It's tripped. Puck comes by behind the net. O'Shea sends that to the half boards. 4-on-4. Flyers penalty. Oh, back to O'Shea. He'll send that down to the blue line. Gloved by the Wildcats player. Back to O'Shea. Up through center. Andrade jumps on it. Gets it to the near wing. In over the blue line. He'll send it in deep. Got 50 seconds to go in the Flyers penalty. 4-on-4. Wildcats down the far wing. In over the blue line. Shot. High over the net. Rebound comes to the near point. Wildcats shot. Dittman holds it for the whistle. 1:06 to go in the second period. Darling in for the draw. He wins it clean to Jeffrey Stedman, sends it behind the net to the far side. Wildcats get there first. Way pins it, comes to the blue line. Darling battling. Wildcats come up with it to Jeffrey Stedman. He tried to hit it to Darling. Wildcats at the blue line. Read there by Andrade. He kicks it out of the zone. Darling picks it up. Swiped at by the Wildcats. They'll bring it back in the zone. Shot. Blocked by Way. Back to Way. Wildcats at the blue line. Pass to the near wing. Shot from the point. Missed wide. Way. Hard off the boards. Flyers on the power play. Lunny's in. Wildcats still with possession. 20 seconds to go in the period. To Darling. Cross to Andrade. Up the middle to Lunny. Lunny cuts in deep. Shot. Backhand. Over the net. Rebound picked off by the Wildcats. Still clear to the blue line. Jeffrey Stedman swiped at it. Went back into the near corner of the Flyers territory. And that'll do it for the period. And Way's going to the box for body contact. Start the third period. Flyers starting at a man down. Perhaps having a little conversation with Flyers coaches. Telford in for the draw. Bouncing puck. Wildcats come up with it, back in their own end. Passed up to center ice. Felix reached for it, couldn't quite get a hold. Wildcats centering pass, blocked by Mass. He clears that to the face-off circle. Shot. Getting in with the pad save, rebound to the near boards. Telford shoved it to the corner of the blue line, but not out. Sloan gets a piece of it, not enough to clear it. Second effort comes through center. That'll go all the way down to the near corner of the Wildcats end. Telford applying pressure in on the forecheck. Wildcats pass it up to the blue line, up through center. Moving over the Flyers territory. Mass clears that out. DeCamillis, fresh legs, just lost it at the blue line. Dumps back in. Savory to Mass. Mass up the near wing for Ambrosio. Ambrosio gains the blue line, runs out of room. The ref's in the way. Wildcats pick it up, bring it the other direction. Across the blue line, shot wide of the net. Rebound goes to the far corner. O'Shea pins him behind the net. Wildcats come up with it in the far corner. DeCamillis and O'Shea trying to hold it there. Puck's loose. Nobody's dragging it out. Wildcats played it back in the boards behind the net to the near side. Savory gets a piece of it, pins it there. Wildcats come up with it. Behind the net, O'Shea got away with one there. Out front. Good stick by O'Shea. Gets that to DeCamillis in his feet. All kinds of pressure. Comes to the Flyers blue line, not out. DeCamillis again. Back to Ambrosio, couldn't clear it. Savory sends it to the far boards again for DeCamillis. Tried to lift the stick and get the puck, just a half second too slow. Shot, blocker saved by Dittman. Rebound out front, through the crease. Another shot on net, missed wide. Wildcats off the boards, out front, shot. Again, wide of the net. Rebound goes to the far corner, 5-on-5. Flyers just need to regroup. Misplayed. Ambrosio chasing that one down. Not quite enough legs to get there. Wildcats clear the zone. Chased back in by Guglietti. He'll get that puck at center ice. Shovel it towards the blue line. Hits a stick back in the far wing. Wildcats jumping into the Flyers territory to the near wing to go get a change. Savory off the back leg of Guglietti. That puck comes to center ice. Wildcats off the near boards. Savory off the boards, picked up by the Wildcats. They'll bring it right back in the zone. Played to the near corner. Darling sends it hard around the boards to the far side. Wildcats at the Flyers gate. Dump it back in. Jeffrey Stedman in the far corner. Wildcats bring it behind the Flyers goal. Thrown out front. Picked off by Guglietti. He'll reel that one in, stayed out of the zone. Guglietti in over the blue line. He's got Nickel with him. Dropped it. Darling picks it up. Darling with the shot. Hits a stick. Goes high over the net into the glass. Puck settles down in the corner. We're behind the net. Darling to the point for Way. Way lets a shot go off the back of the head. Huge bounce. Darling gets it to the near corner. Thrown out front for Guglietti. Loose puck at the goal line. They're trying to jam it in. No goal. Flyers players are begging for the goal. Woolwich are arguing against it. So say the goaltender had it covered. .11:14 to go in the third period. Darling in for the draw. He wins it to Wade, just out of his reach. Jeffrey Stedman back in his own zone, picks it up. Wheels across in front, gets it to Andrade at the blue line. Andrade stretch pass for Lunny, just hops under his stick. Lunny got there again, gets it to the far corner. He gets sandwiched between two Wildcats. Darling steps in to help. Andrade positions himself in front of the net. Darling gets knocked over. Andrade steps in. Lunny picks up the loose puck, throws it on net, bouncing. Rebound cleared out of the way by the Wildcats. Woolwich brings it down the near wing. In across the blue line, stop there. Maas gets pinned against the boards. Boarding. Woolwich penalty, 2 minutes for boarding. 10:29 to go in the third period. Andrade steps in to take the draw for the Flyers. He wins it to Lunny. Lunny to Mass at the point. Mass with the shot through the legs. Woolwich get a piece of that, and they'll clear that down the ice. Dittman sets it up for Sloan. Sloan takes it behind his net to the near corner. To Andrade at the half boards, under pressure. Andrade clears the zone, gets it to Way. Way in over the near wing. Across the blue line, Wildcats strip it. Andrade holds the line. Comes back to Way through the legs to Andrade. Andrade gets dumped. Wildcats chip it out down the ice. Sloan picks it up back in his own zone. Play it across to the near corner for Mass. Up the boards. Intercepted by the Wildcats. They'll walk off the board. Shot from a steep angle. I think that hit a player in front. Mass. Oh, I don't know how that was offside. Mass passed it to Way. It was just over the blue line. Felix picks it up in his own zone. Felix to the far corner. Through the legs. Ambrosio up the near wing. He picks it up the Wildcats blue line. Shot from the point, missed wide. Telford on the rebound, chips it back into the corner. Woolwich still with it behind their net. Off the near boards. O'Shea in neutral ice, sends it across for Savory. Savory up to Ambrosio in over the blue line. Runs out of room. Wildcats dump it down the zone. O'Shea in the far corner. Behind the net, comes up the near wing to Felix. One-touch pass to Telford. Telford in over the Wildcats blue line. Takes it wide to the corner. Hits the brakes. Just lost the handle. Wildcats get a piece of it. Cleared to the blue line. Savory. Watch the man coming out of the box. Across to O'Shea. O'Shea with the shot. Missed wide. Felix picks it up behind the net in the near corner. Hits the brakes. Gets run over. Clear down through center. That'll go on target. Dittman plays it to Savory. Savory to DeCamillis out over the blue line. DeCamillis gets stopped at center ice. Felix picks it up. Felix into the far corner. I guess that's not interference. Wildcats up through the middle to their blue line. They'll get it out to center ice. Dumped back into Flyers territory. O'Shea to Savory. Savory running out of room. Wildcats in the far corner behind the net to the near side. Steps around, shot. Missed wide. Rebound to the far corner. Guglietti picks it up. Hits the brakes, changes directions. Wildcats strip it. DeCamillis pins the man. Felix gets the loose puck and brings it out of the zone. He got called off on a rush. That was interesting. Wildcats back in the zone, offside. 7:16 to go in the third period. Nickel steps in to take the draw. Just outside of his own zone. Wildcats win it. Played across the center. Nickel with a good stick. Gets the puck to Guglietti. Guglietti runs out of real estate. Wildcats kick it to the Flyers blue line. Jeffrey Stedman to DeCamillis. He'll bring it in over the far blue line. Shot from the point. Missed wide. Guglietti on the rebound. Throws it out. Thought he threw it out front. Went behind the net to Jeffrey Stedman. He lifts it to the corner. DeCamillis. He gets bumped. Guglietti steps in. Puck squirts out along the half boards. Nickel to Jeffrey Stedman under his stick. Wildcats jump on it. In over the blue line. Shot off the side of the net. Way turns, fires the puck around the near boards. That'll come out of the zone. No icing. Wildcats pick it up in their own end. Stretch pass. Intercepted by Sloan. In over the blue line, just offside. Guglietti couldn't quite clear it in time. Face-off just outside the Wildcat zone. Darling steps in to take it. He wins it to Lunny. Lunny peels around to the far boards, gets the blue line. Lost it there. Darling picks it up. Sends it out front. picked off by the Wildcats. Woolwich down through center, in over the Flyers' blue line. To the far corner, shot. Dittman holds onto that. Darling in for the draw. He wins it clean. Mass picks it up, bouncing puck. Wildcats clear that to the blue line, held there. Darling in the feet of Andrade, couldn't get a stick on it. Wildcats come up with it, walk through, thrown across to the late man. They're trying to go back door. Lunny. Yes, that's a Sloan reaching shot in the glove of Dittman. What a save. Darling back in for the draw. In his feet, he'll send that dangerously close to the net. Sloan behind the net. Wildcats throw it out front. Dittman intercepted that pass and covered it. Flyers will change their D. Darling still in there for the face-off. 5.5 minutes to go in the third period. Bouncing puck. Darling pins it. Shot. Dittman covers that. The Flyers will change their forwards. Woolwich does the same. Telford steps in to take the draw. One by the Wildcats. Step there front. Felix got a stick on that to break up the shot. Shot off the side of the net. Wildcats with the puck in the far corner. They'll bring it behind the net. Hit the brakes. Went to the far side. Centering pass. Felix read that one. Kept it into the far corner. Wildcats pick it up. Played behind to the near side. Ambrosio on his man. Gets a piece of it. Felix couldn't quite clear it out. Wildcats at the blue line, dump it back in the zone. Felix turns and clears it out to center ice. Wildcats lift it back in the Flyers' territory. O'Shea picks it up, clears the zone down the near wing. O'Shea sends it into the Wildcats' near corner. They'll pick it up behind the net to the far side. Misplayed along the boards to the blue line, held there by Savory. Again, Savory off the ref. Cleared off, back to the Wildcats. They'll play down the far wing. Wildcats back in the Flyers' territory. Slow played behind the back. Savory and O'Shea do a great job defensively to break that up. Wildcats in front of the Flyers' gate. Savory chips it off the skate, back to O'Shea. He lifts that to center ice. Wildcats dump it back in. O'Shea off the boards to Ambrosio. He tips that into the zone. Wildcats played it across to the far boards. In his feet, kicked it up over the blue line. Jeffrey Stedman to Way. Way's got Ambrosio. A little late, but Ambrosio takes the pass, reads it, sends it around the boards to the far side. Nickel. DeCamillis had it go through his feet. Wildcats pick it up. Nickel, good back check. DeCamillis turns and fires it back deep in the zone. Wildcats in the near corner, sends it out the far side. DeCamillis is there. He gets bumped, gets the puck in the corner, thrown out front. Flyers weren't there. Wildcats pick it up, bring it down the near wing. Way shuts the door at the blue line. Guglietti picks it up. He gets tripped up. Wildcats in over the Flyers' blue line. Nickel steers it to the near corner. Wildcats in there. Nickel, Guglietti. Wildcats come up with it. Out in the middle. Jeffrey Stedman does a good job to clear it out of danger. Back in the corner. Thrown out front. Dittman makes the save. Jeffrey Stedman saves the day on that one. Block shot by Nickel. Guglietti gets tripped. Played to center, and the Wildcats are going back to the box. 2:27 to go in the third period. Darling in for the draw. Scrum draw. Darling to Lunny. Lunny under pressure. He gets tripped. Darling picks up the loose puck in the far corner. Tries to throw it out front. Tips. Somehow that didn't go in. Wildcats pick up the loose puck. Clear that through center. Down to the far corner. Sloan off the boards, intended for Andrade, picked off by the Wildcats. Andrade gets a piece of it. Up to Lunny at the blue line. Lunny steps around the defense. Lunny drags it. He gets hauled down. Gets it to Darling in the near corner. Up to Mass at the point. Mass across to Sloan. Sloan walks in, lets a shot go. Saved by the Wildcats. They'll cover the puck for the whistle. A little bit of pushing and shoving after the whistle. Telford steps in for the draw. In his feet. Telford got a piece of it. Wildcats come up with it. Cross the blue line, chipped it around Savory. Savory slows it down. I'd say that might have been a little offside. O'Shea gets rocked. Flyers come up with it. Telford in over the blue line. Steps around the D. Reels it back in. Gets it to the far corner. Telford and Wildcats. Telford gets pinned. Ambrosio steps in at the half boards. Kicks it off to Telford. Telford across to Felix. Felix with the shot. He scores! Woo! Flyers goal scored by number 88, James Felix. 1:04 to go in the third period. Telford steps back in for the draw. Wildcats win it, back to their blue line. They'll send it to Savory in the Flyers territory. Savory decides to take it up the center to Ambrosio. Ambrosio with the shot. Pad save, rebound to the near corner. Ambrosio pressures. Felix at the half boards, comes to Telford. Telford reels it in, just not quite enough. O'Shea clears it out, dumps it back in the zone. Wildcats back through center, through the middle. Shot blocked by O'Shea. Telford clears it up through center ice. Ambrosio goes for the skate for the forecheck. Wildcats behind their net to the near corner. Felix and Ambrosio. Nobody wanted the puck. They were just watching. Wildcats down the far boards. Way shuts the door and pins Luca. Millis. Felix gets bumped behind the net. Offsetting minors. Woolwich to the box for boarding. Ambrosio to the box for cross-checking. Nickel steps in for the draw. 7 seconds to go in the third period. Five on five. Wildcats are ready to go home, I guess. Nickel on the draw. Gets it to the far corner. Jeffrey Stedman plays it to the near boards. Way to the point. Shot at the buzzer. And the Flyers win it